Bad games. There are several consoles out there that are known for some bad games, and in today, I'm talking about the Atari Jaguar. And I'm a huge Atari Jaguar fan, but it is known for some terrible games, and in today's video, I'm going to be sharing 5 bad games that I think are some of the worst on the console. And so I'm going to be sharing these games by using the Jag to Gen. This was sent to me from Stone Age Gamer. And what I'm doing is I'm using this device connected with an HD Retrovision cable to share with you some gameplay of the 5 worst games I think for the Jaguar. You might have your opinions, and in the comments below, I want to hear them. So sit back, relax. Here we go. I do remember seeing copies of this unsold at KB Toys, and I wondered at the time why. Well, now I know. This is Club Drive, and this is an extremely blocky racing game, kind of a racing game. And what I don't like about this is graphics. And so there's 4 stages. There's like a Western theme. There's a futuristic city, and San Francisco, and Jerome's pad, a house. And you drive around. There's 3 different modes. There's racing, collecting power balls. And, you know, it's just bad, okay? This game has terrible graphics. Now, the frame rate's pretty decent, and there is a okay 2-player mode, but really, this is a bad game. This is one of the worst racing games on the Jaguar, and I really, really don't like this game. The worst thing about this game is the terrible music. Now, you can turn the music down, but everything else about this game, it's uninspiring, it's boring, it's dull. It's just not that fun. You know, going around and collecting the power balls, which is the worst mode in this game. The best thing about this game is that it has Pong on a TV in the background in this level. Other than that, avoid this at all costs. I covered Double Dragon 5 on the Sega Genesis in my Trade West ranking video. Now, how does the Jaguar one hold up? Well, some of the criticism of the Jaguar was because some of the games were just like its 16-bit counterparts. Double Dragon 5 earns the award for actually being worse. It takes out story mode, characters, and the graphics don't look as good of the 16-bit counterparts on the Genesis and Super Nintendo. They decided to change how they did the backgrounds, as well as changed how they did the shading. It looks worse. Now, I gave the Genesis one an F. So now you have a worse controller playing a port of a game on a superior graphics console that looks worse. Oh my gosh, this is terrible. Let's talk about the character design. I know it's based on the cartoon, but it's just lame. This is not Double Dragon that I grew up with. This is not Double Dragon that many out there that are watching this didn't grow up with. This is a terrible idea. It shouldn't have been made. It is an F-. I love dirt bike racing games, and there's several out there that are solid. When I first saw the box art for this game, I was hopeful that the Jaguar with its 64 bits would be able to pull off a competent dirt bike racing game. First and foremost, let's talk about the frame rate. Oh my goodness. It's got like 15 frames a second. It is just absolutely atrocious. Second, the control is way too sensitive. You're going to wreck quite a bit. You have these sharp turns. You know, I love dirt bike racing, and you know, I typically enjoy playing these games. This is not fun to play whatsoever. The control is completely broken. Add that with the atrocious frame rate. This has got to be one of the worst dirt bike racing games to be made ever. It is just not fun. It's got muddy graphics. This doesn't look like a 64-bit game. This is not next gen at the time, and it was quite a disappointment. I know there's someone out there, they might have got this game, and it might have been the only game they got with their console, and they may enjoy it. Hey, kudos to you for sticking it out and liking and appreciating this game, but it's bad. This is a bad game, And if you want to play one of the worst, definitely check this one out. The launch of a console and the library of games available at launch will make or break and determine whether or not the public will accept a new console on the market. Unfortunately, Trevor, McFur, and the Crescent Galaxy was one of the only other options for Jaguar fans when it came out. How bad is this game? I love myself some classic shooters. They're some of my favorite Sega Genesis games to play, so I was hopeful when I first booted this game up back in the day. I like that you can choose your own level, but what the heck is that? Oh man. Oh my goodness. Uninspiring. And so the level design of this game is terrible. I don't think the graphics are bad, but it just simply doesn't have any personality. When it comes to classic shooters, you need intensity. That builds suspense that this game is sorely lacking. Oh my goodness, just boring levels where you're just shooting things and then you get to the end of the boss. You know, there's just no personality whatsoever in this game. Now the power-ups are pretty decent. I like the power-ups in this game. That's one thing I do like about this game. The power-ups are varied, but everything else about this game is just plain awful. This is one of the worst shooters I've played. There's so many other great shooters out there. This is just, it's like a combination of, like, you know, take a discount Star Fox and combine it with Windows 95 and you get this really amateur project. Now I know it was an early launch title for the Jaguar, but this is just not how you launch a new console. If you manage to get through a boring level, you are rewarded by fighting very strange bosses with some of the most grating sound effects in the background I've ever heard. Last and definitely least, you get this turd, and oh boy, I think this is the worst game on the console. Adding insult to injury, of the original releases, it's one of only 2 games that utilize the team tap. Oh boy. White Men Can't Jump has nothing to do with the movie. You have a selection of terrible cliche teams. Oh my goodness. And it's just, you know, it's a total cash-in of the name. Has nothing to do with the movie. Terrible graphics, bad gameplay. It's got like half semi-digitized graphics. Oh man, just not fun to play. The voiceover is bad. Okay, just cliche after cliche. Oh my goodness. Just stop. I can't believe they moved forward with this idea. It had a very limited library, and so games like this were actually finished and rushed out the door. Oh my goodness, this has got to be one of the worst sports games I've played, and I love myself a good basketball game, good baseball, football, hockey, and this is just really, really bad. I definitely recommend, if you like bad games, this has got to make your list, because quite frankly, one of the worst games I've played. Like bad movies, some are going to enjoy playing these terrible games. You know, it is kind of fun to look and see how far we've came with programming and development, but bad games are still happening today. This is a reminder of how bad they can really be, and it's kind of fun to go back, especially sharing misery with somebody else and playing some of these terrible games. Now, you may not agree with the games that I chose. You may enjoy these games or defend them, and that's okay. We can disagree and still get along, but I want to know then, what are your picks for the Atari Jaguar for worst games that were released? I also did a video talking about some of the best games for the console, and the link will be below to that video. As I'm a fan of the console, I love collecting it. I am a fan of Atari in general. So what did you think of my picks? What are your picks for the worst games for this console? I'm having a lot of fun. I'm going to be continuing the Bad Game series, and so stay tuned for many more videos. I'm having a lot of fun doing these. If you're new to my channel, make sure to hit that like and subscribe button and click the bell, as I'm uploading different videos every week. You folks are wonderful and beautiful. This is the immortal John Hancock, and you have a great day.